Hello, my name is Tom Salinsky, and I am a podcast producer. I am a playwright. I'm a corporate coach, and I write non-fiction books. I've written one about the art of improvisation. I've written one about movies that was a companion to the podcast that I made with two friends, Best Pick, in which we watched every movie that had won Best Picture at the Academy Awards. I've written one about Star Trek, and now I've written one about Red Dwarf. Well, it's called Red Dwarf Discovering the TV Series. This is Volume 1. It covers the first 6 BBC series that were produced between 1988 and 1993. The remaining BBC series, the Dave shows, and various apocrypha like video games, role-playing games, TV advertisements, comic strips, novels, and so on, will all be in Volume 2, which will be out next year. Well, having finished the project of watching every film that won Best Picture at the Academy Awards, and having embarked on a project to watch every episode of Star Trek at the rate of one a day, which, by the way, you can do in 2 years, that will get you from the original series to Star Trek Enterprise. I was considering other things, and Red Dwarf has been running for a surprisingly long time. The first series went out in 1988, and there are rumours of a new series coming out soon. If that doesn't materialise, then the last we got of them was in 2020. So it's over 30 years, and that's very unusual for a British sitcom. So this is a very interesting topic. It's a show I have a lot of affection for. I think when it's at its best, it's pretty much unbeatable. And I hoped there would be some interest in it. The research process consisted of many things. I was able to conduct a few interviews. I visited the BBC written archive, where I was able to finally glean ratings for the early episodes, something I hadn't found in any other reference work. And then there's plenty of places where people have told stories, people have got their own blogs, their own YouTube channels. There's lots of material on the DVDs themselves, documentaries, special features, commentaries, and so on. So my job was to take all of that material and try to synthesize it for the making of sections into a readable narrative, and where different people's accounts clashed, either to pick what I thought was the most likely version, to acknowledge the fact that nobody seems to know, or to just, on the balance of probabilities, figure out what I think probably went on, read between the lines if I have to. It was quite a long process, getting on for a year, and I was doing the Star Trek book at the same time, but it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed immersing myself in the world, particularly those early shows where they were really trying to achieve miracles on an absolute shoestring budget. I mean, have a go. What's the worst that could happen? Writing is a funny thing because we all talk all of the time. We all express ourselves in words. And sometimes when we sit down in front of a keyboard and try and make very deliberate choices about what words we're going to use, it can seize us up. But for other people who find it harder to express themselves verbally, it can be a source of release, because you don't have to get it right first time. You can go back, you can iterate, you can think carefully about every word, what it means and how it's going to land. So whether you think you like to write one-liner jokes, limerick poetry, non-fiction books like mine, epic novels set in fantasy lands, give it a go. Get someone else to read it, take on the feedback, and then rewrite. That's the real secret. It's an old cliche, and as writers we're supposed to avoid cliches, but I think this one is worth repeating. Writing is rewriting. I'm pleased to say that Red Dwarf Discovering the TV Series Volume 1 should be available wherever books are sold. You can certainly get it on Amazon and Waterstones in the UK, I believe Barnes & Noble in the USA, but it should be available from anywhere at all. And the publishers have their own website, penandsword.co.uk. So if you think you might like it, please buy it. If you think you might not like it, please buy it just to make sure. If somebody you know might like it, please buy it for them. If somebody you know you think they wouldn't like it, but you don't like them, then buy it for them as an insult. Either way, please buy my book, and thank you very much for listening to me answering these questions. Cheerio.